We're back with House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff. He's a California Democrat and an ally to Speaker Pelosi. Chairman Schiff, welcome to Face the Nation.
Thank you.
Would you like to respond to anything the Vice President just said about Democratic leadership in response to their proposal?
Well, I think the Vice President and President know that what the President announced yesterday was not going to go anywhere. It wasn't really intended to. It was I think, an effort to prop up the President's sagging poll numbers. But it did nothing to get us closer to ending the shutdown. The President announced the shutdown, said he'd be proud of it. He is proud of it. He needs to put an end to it. And that's what we hoped we might hear from the President. Look, people have suffered enough. Federal employees are going without another paycheck. I'm going to put an end to this and continue the negotiations. That's what he should have done. That's what a real president would do. But instead, what this is really about is not border security. What it's about is a broken promise that the President made, an oft-repeated, clearly false song and dance act that Mexico was going to build a great, big, beautiful wall and pay for it.
So you don't see an opportunity here, an opening for the President to have made this gesture on DACA and TPS recipients getting at least 3 years of protection?
No, it was effectively saying, look, I created a problem by taking away protections for dreamers. I created another problem by taking away protections for refugees. I'm willing to undo part of the damage temporarily that I have inflicted to get my wall. Well, that's really not much of an offer, and it wasn't intended to be. At the end of the day, what the President wants is to replace one fraudulent promise with another. The promise that Mexico was going to pay with a promise that taxpayers are now going to pay, but somehow get reimbursed through his new NAFTA. Well, that's as fraudulent as the original promise.
How do you interpret the special counsel's statement that seemed to challenge some of the reporting in BuzzFeed that the President directed his attorney to lie to Congress about some business dealings in Russia?
Well, I assume that this was prompted by the reaction to that BuzzFeed report, but also it may have to do with the special counsel's wanting to be able to use Michael Cohen as a witness in further prosecutions. And wanted to make sure that the public didn't have the perception that he was saying more than he was saying, at least to the special counsel. But Margaret, I think we need to pay particular attention to what we do know from the special counsel that was not included in the statement yesterday. What we do know from the special counsel is that Michael Cohen has shared information about core matters of the Russia investigation that he learned from people associated with the Trump organization, the business organization. We also know from the special counsel that he has shared information about his communications with people associated with the White House during 2017 and 2018. Now, it was that period during 2017 and 2018 that Michael Cohen was making false statements publicly and to Congress and initially the special counsel about the Trump Tower deal. So there is a lot more to learn. And
are you still going to investigate the claims?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congress has a fundamental interest in two things. First, in getting to the bottom of why a witness came before us and lied, and who else was knowledgeable that this was a lie.
And you will be asking questions of Michael Cohen?
Yes, we've given Michael Cohen a date that we'd like him to come in, either voluntarily or if necessary by subpoena. But the other reason why we have to get to the bottom of this is Bill Barr testified last week that he would not commit to following the advice of ethics lawyers if they urged him to recuse himself, and he would not commit to making the Mueller report public. Now, either one of those ought to be reasons not to confirm him, but the combination of both should be completely disqualifying.
Would you subpoena the report in order to make it public?
We will do everything necessary to make the report public, but more than that, because they will fight us on this, we need to do our own investigations, because at the end of the day, if the Justice Department tries to stonewall the release of that report for whatever reason, the American people are going to need to know what happened. And we're going to have to press forward. You know, the very reason that Bill Barr gave for wanting to be Attorney General, that he could help bring a credible resolution to this investigation and ensure confidence in the Justice Department, will be impossible, given that the public knows he was chosen for his hostility investigation. He's refusing to commit to following the ethics advice. And should he attempt to bury any part of this report, there's no way that a majority of Americans will have confidence in the result.
If the President knew Michael Cohen was going to lie to Congress, but didn't explicitly tell him to lie, is that a problem for you? Is there something you can do about that? What is it classified as? Is that obstruction of justice?
Well, if the president knew that a witness was going to lie before Congress but played no role in urging him to lie before Congress, I don't know that it would be a crime. It certainly would be unethical. But this president has done a lot of things that are deeply unethical. But the question remains, and Rudy Giuliani, I guess this morning said that he's not writing off the possibility that the president did talk to Michael Cohen about his testimony, or that others may have as well. And we need to know exactly what those conversations were. They're certainly not protected by any kind of a privilege. And if anyone was instructing, whether it was the president or other people affiliated with the White House or the Trump organization, encouraging a witness to lie, we need to know about it. And I will say one other thing. We know that the president's public statements have been false as it pertains to his business dealings with Russia. And so the combination of his public falsehoods with false testimony before Congress certainly contributes to a picture of obstruction of justice.
We will continue to track that. Thank you very much, Congressman.
Thank you.